Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. My name is Xochitl Mora. I'm the Director of Communications for the City of Mcallen and serving as the Public Information Officer for the 2022 South Texas All Hazards Conference. As you heard in the opening ceremony, the South Texas All Hazards Conference is designed to train the emergency responders and everyone involved in the emergency management responding to disasters. And here in the Rio Grande Valley, we are blessed with multiple partnerships across multiple agencies and jurisdictions that work together to be able to save lives and property here in our area and throughout the state of Texas. And so today we'll hear from some of those key partners, key leaders in these organizations, and as well as highlight the role that the media plays and be able to disseminate that information when we have emergencies in our community. I would like to recognize our honored guests here with us today, starting with, of course, the Honorable Javier Villalobos, Mayor of the City of Mcallen. The Honorable Pepe Cabeza de Vaca, Commissioner District 6 for the City of Mcallen. Of course, we have our own Mcallen City Manager, Mr. Roy Rodriguez. Assistant City Manager for the City of Harlingen, Josh Ramirez. We have with us also representing Hidalgo County, the Emergency Management Coordinator, Chief Ricardo Saldana. Tony Peña, Assistant Chief, Region 3 for TDEM, and John Ovalle, Regional Section Chief, Region 3. Thank you for your work with Texas Division of Emergency Management. Our special guest with us today, as well as earlier at the ceremony, Dr. Emily Pro, the Regional Medical Director, Region 11 for Texas Health and Human Services. Representing Sheriff Eddiodioitas is Chief Oscar Montoya, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. And from the Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, Eddiodioitas, the Chief Administrative Officer. From our Mcallen Fire Department, we have Chief James Schultz. And from the City of Edinburgh, Fire Chief Sean Snyder. Also joining us today is Mario Liscano, who was appointed yesterday by Governor Abbott to the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. So thank you for joining us. And of course, we also have the Office of Communications and Public Affairs Office for Hidalgo County and City of Mcallen, who are here to promote the information for today's conference and as well during emergencies. So thank you all for your work today and every day. I'd like to bring up our Honorable Mayor, Javier Villalobos, for a few words on the importance of this conference.
Thanks, Xochitl. And I think I don't know whether we did or not, but recognize our mayor from Mercedes, Mayor Montoya. Just in case we forgot, because sometimes I don't pay attention. But anyway, thank you all very much for being here. I think you all know the importance of what we're doing here today. We have a lot of different municipalities, different people from all over the place, and that's amazing because I think we saw what happened this past week. Wind, tornadoes, fires. There's a lot of things that happen, and it happens all the time, and we have to be prepared. You know, practice makes perfect, and training and practice and all that is so important. So I'm very happy that we're doing this. Even though we didn't do it for the past 2 years, we were overdue. We're doing it now, and we're going to continue on doing it. It's something that I'm very excited about. I know our city is very happy to host it, and hopefully we can continue on doing it. So I just want to thank you all for what you all do, and keep on training, keep on practicing, keep on protecting our people, our families, and our properties.
Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership. To also welcome you from the City of Mcallen and to talk about the role of the administrations working together, I'd like to bring up the City Manager for Mcallen, Mr. Roy Rodriguez.
Good morning. So thank you, Mayor. It's such a pleasure working for you here in the City of Mcallen. You know, as I look around the room, as I walked in, what I see is a bunch of friends of ours and a bunch of friends of mine. And so to think that these are the people that are responsible for our safety when all hell breaks loose in the Rio Grande Valley, which is becoming more and more often, it brings a lot of comfort to us. It certainly brings a lot of comfort to McAllen City Hall that we know you, we know that we can count on you, and we know that you're an expert in what you do. You know, the Rio Grande Valley is our home. And, you know, with the beauty that we have around us, including one of my favorite, the Gulf Coast, not only South Padre Island, but the entire coast, with it comes its challenges. And of course, you know, from time to time, we get a little storm that others call hurricanes and all kinds of stuff. But then lately, you know, like the mayor said, we've got fires, we have had hail, we have flooding, we've had freezes. And the truth of the matter is that the reason that we haven't met is because we had a little emergency going on here the last couple of years. And all I've got to do is think of you, the people that are out there every day ensuring that we're doing everything that we can to protect our citizens, and that's all I need to do, is that I know that I'm at ease. I'm very fortunate in the city of McAllen, the way the structure is, and Jeff Johnston is not here, one of my assistant city managers, but the beauty of it is that when we are in emergency mode, the emergency is taken care of by others. Oh, I love that. It is not me. And so we're very blessed to be able to have the structured approach that we have with all of you, including the city of McAllen. So for all that you do, we really, really thank you. It's more than anyone should have to go through, the things that we've gone through the last several years, but yet we continue to be a very resilient region of the state, and one that the state of Texas looks to for leadership, and that's because of you. So thank you and welcome to the conference.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. To talk about this conference and then just how we respond here in Hidalgo County specifically, I'd like to bring up our Emergency Management Coordinator, Chief Ricardo Saldana.
Well, as Mr. Rodriguez mentioned, it's a collaborative effort amongst all the municipalities in Hidalgo County, the city of McAllen, which the city of McAllen is one of our biggest supporters, especially when it comes to pumps. We want to thank them and all our partners around us. By all of us working together, we can make a difference for Hidalgo County and all the municipalities in Hidalgo County and our neighboring counties, because we've done that and we continue doing that. You know, our county judge is a strong supporter of emergency management, him being the director, and our mayor, Mayor Alon, who is the director for the emergency management for the city of McAllen, play a big part in the decision making with their city managers and their emergency management coordinators. We're an all hazards response organization. No matter what it brings to us, we're there. Just like Mr. Rodriguez mentioned, 2 years ago, what happened? We had a hurricane, then we had a freeze. We were still dealing with a pandemic. Plus we had floods in between. And Mr. Eddiodioitas at the health department was, aside from COVID, dealing with other cooties, as he puts it. You know, but we're all dealing with something new on a daily basis. But we work as a team. Collaboration, communication makes a difference for us to be able to provide those services to our citizens in Hidalgo County. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. It is important that we have the partnerships here at the local level, but we do look to our state agencies to provide guidance and support as well, and to talk about how that support happens from the Texas Division of Emergency Management. I'd like to bring up Tony Peña for a few words.
A few words? Good morning, everyone. So, this is an important conference, year 10. Everybody in here is face-to-face. The last 2 years have been rough on all of us. You know, as Chief Saldana said, as everybody's talked about, you know, between the pandemic across the state of Texas, across the United States, across the world, followed by wildfires and, let's see, what do we have going this week, John? Wildfires, floods, cold weather, tornadoes, everything's happening in the last 48 hours across the state of Texas. But cooperation, coordination, communication amongst all the agencies is the utmost important for all of us. And because we have that in this region and we have it across the state of Texas, we're able to respond accordingly, rapidly, and help bring help bring order to the chaos that occurs in everybody's lives. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for hosting this conference, for allowing us to be a part of it. It's all awesome, and all of you all are awesome. Thank you all from the media, because you all are partners as well. You all are able to deliver the information to the general public in ways that most of us can't. You know, and you know, of course, all of us have social media and all sorts of stuff going on, but you know, you all are the important ones because you all deliver the face-to-face information. So, ma'am, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tony. Bringing order to the chaos and law to the chaos is important, and to talk about that, I'd like to bring up Chief Oscar Montoya from the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office.
Good morning. First of all, obviously, Hidalgo County is one of the fastest growing places in Texas and in the nation. Actually, this whole area is, this region is. And one thing that I'm, on behalf of the sheriff, want to make sure that we put out to the people is that there is no better place in South Texas for working together when an emergency occurs. I don't care, bar none. And the important thing is that even though we're growing, it's still happening. The coordination is there, the communication is there. A lot of times places grow and they lose that. And that's just not the case in South Texas. And that happens because of things like this conference. This conference is more important today than it's ever been. Years ago, some of the biggest requests yearly, I remember freaking out because we didn't have horses to block a street, or some city didn't have flashlights, or trying to find out if somebody had a pump. Heck, we were asking departments if they were willing to put a bulldozer on the back of a trailer so that we could call them out to a fire. Those were huge requests. Today we're asking for 1,000 people. We're asking for football fields. One of the first calls I got as mayor was, hey, can we borrow your Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show area because we need to try and put 50,000 people through there. And what, 50? So where are you going to find 50? That's happening right here in South Texas. And believe it or not, South Texas acted like a duck, okay? The duck looked really cool. It's cruising through the water, but underneath there was a lot of work going on by a lot of people. So again, on behalf of the sheriff, we want to thank everybody for their leadership, for their coordination. The media jumped in like never before. We want to thank you all for that as well. I personally have never seen we're talking about emergencies. When we talked about collaboration, we talked about city helping city, county helping county, state going to help. Now it's global. So again, I congratulate all the leadership for putting this all-hazard conference, for doing it now, for bringing everybody together, because like I said, today more than ever, collaboration is going to be more important because it's got a whole new definition. So I congratulate everybody that's out here. I'm happy to hear that there's 1,500 people that are registered. That's fantastic. Thank you to the media. I would be remiss if I didn't say that we at the Sheriff's Office and the Sheriff wanted to make sure I put this out there. We're very proud of the people that had to go to work. And there was a lot of those, not only in law enforcement, but all sides, that had to go to work, not because they wanted to, they had to leave their families. A lot of us were stricken with COVID, and we were still having to work, okay? So, Eddiodioitas, Judge Cortez, I'm talking about in the county, Dr. Melendez, where are you at, Chief Saldana? I mean, you guys led the forefront. You guys were at it every day. I mean, I don't know how I would call Eddie up at 11 o'clock to ask him a question, and he was putting on something at 7 in the morning. So again, thank you for that. Thank you for y'all's leadership. And I pray that we have a great conference. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I would like to talk about how at the local level, working with our first responders is so important. I'd like to bring up Chief Schultz from the Mcallen Fire Department for a few words.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning. My name is Jim Schultz. I'm the fire chief here in Mcallen. The All Hazards Conference actually started as the South Texas Hurricane Conference. And as we started holding them and hosting them, we realized there's a lot more that happens down here aside from just hurricanes. And we really, I say we, it's the county that really coordinates this and opened it up. One of the things I heard earlier in the main room and also in here is the relationships. And it's not usually the individual person in charge that's getting things done. They may give the direction, but it's the relationships of the people behind the scenes that really go out there and get things done. In fact, a couple people now talked about chaos. The acronym CHAOS means Chief has arrived on scene. So if you see the head of an organization show up, let them do what they need to do. But really, it is the relationships, it's the friendships. We talked about how here in the Valley especially, we coordinate with each other. In the Valley, the 4 counties across the Valley, every fire department has a mutual aid agreement with every other fire department. If South Padre Island calls me right now, we're gonna go. I'm gonna notify my boss, but we're gonna go. When you go north out of the Valley, that kind of cooperation between fire departments is not as common. Hopefully, through conferences like this, we can help spread that cooperation to other parts of the state. So for the county, thank you all so much for continuing to host this. Where'd the mayor go? There he is. Sir, thank you for your leadership here in Mcallen. Mr. City Manager, thank you for your leadership, and thank you all. Have a great conference.
Thank you, Chief. And one of the heroes of so much that happens here in Hidalgo County, Chief Administrative Officer of Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, Mr. Eddiodioitas.
You're so kind.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a tremendous honor to be here today. One of the main things that has been really stressed today was the collaboration partnership. But, you know, it's interesting because I think Chief Montoya put it well, and he was former emergency manager for Hidalgo County. Remember the flashlight story? That is a hilarious one that, I don't know, like 12 years ago or something. And it was a legitimate concern. There was a local community who was desperate to find flashlights. And now it's like we're looking at huge, bigger things, a lot more complicated things. But today, I want to stress the importance of, we just had a commissioner's court, our county judge and each of our commissioners put forth, we had a day on Monday that was officially 2 years for Hidalgo County since its first confirmed COVID case. Over 3,800 people have perished, friends, family, loved ones. I don't think there's a single person in this room that's not been impacted by someone's death from COVID. We've had coworkers, friends who have passed away. Over 180,000 confirmed cases in this county. But even with all that pain and all that sacrifice and all that unassuredness, what's going to happen? One thing, each of you in the media knows this, and each of you here need to understand, one thing was assured, one. And the assurance that you have Chief Peña, Chief Ovaya, Chief Snyder, Chief Schultz, Chief Montoya, you have Chief Saldana, you have all these key people for the last 30 years of work together in one form or other. And our newest member, Dr. Emily Pro, who, Chief, welcome, Chief. And she, you know, has joined us, and it's a unified brother and sisterhood. And yeah, we disagree with each other at times, but that's very rare. And for the media, I really want to stress, what made it happen, besides our friendship, is this conference. This conference, thanks to the city of Mcallen, thanks to the state of Texas for helping fund it, thanks to all our partners. But this conference, people walk up and down the halls, shake each other's hand and say, hey, remember when we went to Hurricane Ike in Galveston, or Harvey in Ingleside, or when we responded to the wildland fires back in San Manuel in the day, or when we did all these locations. They remember that. But it's because of this partnership. But what does the future hold? The number one thing out of this conference, we have a lot of young people that volunteered, over 150 volunteers that are from the healthcare community and criminal justice community, STC, Rio Grande Institute, Recreational Institute. Many of these schools have volunteers here. And when I met with them at 6 this morning, we met and had a briefing. I said, you all need to take advantage of getting to meet all these leaders. Go up and shake their hand. Introduce yourself, because you will be doing your mentorships, your work with these folks. And when we are in this nursing home, or when we are senior citizens and retired, you all are going to be the ones stepping forward, and you're going to say, you know, I learned about incident command structure at the South Texas All Hazards Conference 10 years ago. I learned about it. Or when that Chief Peña is recruiting folks to work with TDM right now, there's openings. A few years from now, there's going to be a surplus of people applying for those jobs from the Rio Grande Valley because of what happens here. So, Mayor, thank you for allowing us in your city. Thank you for all that's done. We're open for any questions or comments. We'll follow Xochitl's lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olivares. We will open it up to one-on-one interviews, but I did want to stress to the media again, your role in responding to emergencies is just as essential and critical as all of these agencies, because you help to disseminate that information to the public, whether it's on evacuations or testing sites, whatever the emergency is. You are crucial in assisting us to get that information out to the community. So thank you for that as well. And to help you better able to respond and provide that information, my good friend and colleague, Carlos Sanchez, will lead a media training tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Mcallen Convention Center. So all of our media partners are invited to attend and learn a little bit better how to respond to emergencies. So I want to thank everyone who's here today, all of our partner agencies, for being here today for this press event and for the conference and for your role in responding to emergencies. And I'll close it out and allow media to ask their questions to each of you. So thank you again.